This is Factorio. It's one of the best factory building games on Steam, depending on who you ask. I love Factorio, but what I don't love are these guys. They're an intelligent and nuanced enemy, even a good enemy as far as video game bugs go, but I'm not sure they're the right fit for Factorio. Before we dive into that, please consider subscribing. I'm a small channel and every sub counts. The system around the bugs and how they scale throughout a playthrough of Factorio is genius. If the devs were lazy, they could have just made it so that the bugs get stronger as you progress through the tech tree, but that would feel gamey. Instead, they developed a whole pollution system to both mediate how often they attack you and how quickly they evolve. Honestly, it's a great system, and it makes the bugs a reactive natural barrier to your otherwise rampant factory expansion and destruction of this lovely planet. Or planets, should I say. If you don't invest in green energy or reduce your energy consumption, you're going to need some bug spray. Alternatively, you can just invest in upgrading your weaponry and defenses. So far so good, right? Well, here's the issue I have with the bugs. Ever heard of the carrot and the stick? Well, as far as motivating the player, the bugs definitely act like a stick. If you ignore them for too long, they'll come ruin your day, and I think we can all agree that having random parts of your factory destroyed isn't fun. Especially when damage can be hard to see, even with the little icons. I've had parts of my factory inoperable for several hours because I missed a destroyed belt that one of these buggers gnawed on. You're also mostly reacting to what the bugs do. Maybe some players are going and wiping out all the nearby nests on a regular basis, but I'm willing to bet that most players only deal with the bugs when they have to. So for example, you're building away happily and the bugs attack. So you build some defenses or go destroy the nest that caused it. Rinse and repeat. See, the catalyst for interacting with the bugs is them attacking you and potentially damaging your factory. It's especially irritating when they choose a new angle of attack while you're too far away, or are on another planet, and you end up losing parts of your factory. Sometimes these attacks feel unpredictable. It's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to other players as well, where you reach a sort of critical mass where you're just getting attacked so constantly from different angles that it makes it difficult to progress. What I'm trying to say is that you're not rewarded for dealing with the aliens, you're just not punished. Even going out and destroying their nests can be tedious, especially with how clunky the combat is. Clunky maybe isn't the right word, maybe it's more just a symptom of being a top-down shooter, and the driving scheme certainly doesn't help much either. It's honestly fine, this is a game about optimizing belts, not using them to punish your alien child. My next point is something that contributes to this, and can be summarized in one sentence. Why these bugs so quick? Factorio is a game about building factories. Slow and steady wins the race. You're creating massive supply chains that span across the map. So why are the aliens so damn fast? The base move speed for the bugs is honestly breakneck. It makes the whole combat experience just way too hardcore for a game that's not about combat. Imagine for a second if the game was just balanced around slower, tankier enemies. Maybe I'm being an old man here, but why can't we just have everything slowed down by 50%? I'm sure it's all balanced around the player speed, but when the bugs attack, the combat is over in a matter of seconds. Now, I can hear people telling me to just turn them off. But honestly, playing without the bugs means you miss out on a huge chunk of the game. I just wish there was a way to make them less annoying and more rewarding to deal with. In older versions of Factorio, you used to get a sort of resource from them, but that didn't really work out either. I will give credit where credit is due. The way you level up your defenses and that they scale infinitely to keep up with the bugs is a good mechanic. The combat is also designed more based on how well you are equipped than anything else. Upgrading your gear is fun and rewarding, especially with how meaningful the upgrades can be. It can feel like the bugs are getting the upper hand, only for you to invent tanks and then guard and steamroll them. Hitting them with nukes is also pretty satisfying. The combat doesn't need to be anything more than holding down spacebar with the right gun equipped. This makes sense for a game about building factories, even if they are for landmines and artillery shells. The same goes for building your defenses. It's awesome to take the time to craft a well thought out turret setup. Again, it's just a pity that they annihilate their targets in like 0.2 seconds, or get destroyed themselves if they don't. The space age enemies shake it up a bit with the combat, with the new planets and space offering new threats. The asteroids that bombard your misshapen spacecraft was a cool idea. I'm sure they caught everyone off guard the first time they tried to leave the planet. Thank God for autosave. And I think the way that these asteroids give you resources is a cool mechanic. Gleeber's breakdancing pentapods are cool too, and their beefier cousins. They rustled my jimmies for sure. but they mostly suffer the same problems as the default bugs on Norvis do, especially with how spread out your bases on Gleba can be. Fulgora is just shocking. I liked Vulcanus's worms. They act as like a little boss fight that you have to do to get some more space, which I think is a cool change-up. Ironically, as you get into the late game, the combat can almost entirely disappear, as even that becomes automated. And maybe that is the point of Factorio's combat? A sort of arms race until you become unstoppable. The issue is though, I think for most people experiencing the game, they don't really get to that point, just judging by some of the achievements. The thing is, I don't really know how to make the bugs better. I just wish they were less irritating. Thanks for watching.